What if I told you that China just revealed a move so powerful, so unexpected, that the US wasn't prepared for it? A move that's going to change the tech race forever. This isn't some distant future. It's happening right now. And trust me, the consequences could be huge. In fact, the global balance of power is starting to shift because of this. We're talking about a game-changing moment that could leave the US scrambling to keep up. What is this move and why is it so important? Let's dive in. For years, the US has been the leader in technological innovation. Whether it's AI, chips, or software, America has been at the top of the global tech ladder. But recently, something unexpected is happening. China is making massive strides in technology, especially in AI and semiconductor industries. Now, let's get one thing straight. China isn't just playing catch-up anymore. They're pushing forward, and they're doing it in ways that the US just didn't anticipate. The US tried to slow them down by restricting China's access to advanced technology. But instead of halting China's progress, these restrictions are forcing the Chinese tech industry to adapt and innovate faster. For the past few years, the US has been tightening the screws on China's access to advanced semiconductors, which are critical for developing AI systems. The idea behind this is simple. By cutting off China's access to the best chips, the US can slow down China's tech growth, especially in artificial intelligence. But here's the twist. China has been working on a solution to this problem, and it's working better than anyone expected. China is not only finding alternative ways to get access to the necessary technology, but they are also leapfrogging, in some areas, catching up to and even surpassing the US in certain critical tech areas. Reports have already come out showing that Chinese AI models are now getting global attention. In some areas, they are actually beating US rivals. This is huge. The world didn't expect China to make such rapid advancements, especially in the face of US restrictions. So how did China pull this off? Well, it comes down to a few things: strategy, investment, and sheer determination. For one, China has been pouring billions into its AI and semiconductor sectors. The government has been backing major AI research initiatives, fueling rapid innovation. At the same time, Chinese tech companies have been working overtime to develop their own chips and AI models, bypassing US control. Instead of just sitting back and waiting for the West to loosen up on restrictions, China has been actively building up its own technological infrastructure. And the result? They are seeing impressive results. Reports from major outlets like Wired, CNBC, and the Wall Street Journal have pointed out that China's AI models are not just catching up, they're getting better, faster, and more powerful. And when it comes to AI, it's not just about having the best chips. It's about having access to vast amounts of data, talent, and research, which China has in abundance. But what really makes China's strategy impressive is the way they're dealing with US restrictions. While the US thought they were blocking China's access to the most advanced chips, China has found ways to work around these restrictions. They're getting creative, and it's paying off. So, what's the US doing in response? Well, the US has been tightening its grip on China's access to advanced technology with export bans and restrictions on chip sales. The goal is to stop China from building its own advanced AI infrastructure. But it seems to be backfiring. Instead of slowing China down, these restrictions are just pushing China to develop alternative solutions. In fact, some experts argue that the US's attempts to curb China's access to advanced technology are only accelerating China's progress. It's almost as if the more the US tries to block China, the faster China figures out how to work around the barriers. The US has been trying to restrict Chinese access to chips like NVIDIA's A100, which power advanced AI systems, but China is finding ways to bypass these restrictions. Reports show that China is not only developing their own chips, but also making breakthroughs in AI research that are making waves globally. As the US and China battle for dominance in AI and tech, it's clear that this isn't just a fight between two countries. The entire world is being pulled into this new AI Cold War, and every country is being forced to choose a side. But it's not as simple as just picking the US or China. Many nations are caught in the middle. Some are choosing to partner with China, especially where the US has placed strict tech restrictions. For countries in Africa, Southeast Asia, and Latin America, China's tech like AI, 5G, and infrastructure is a major draw. With China's Belt and Road Initiative, their tech influence is spreading fast. Meanwhile, the US is trying to keep its allies on its side, pushing back against China's growing reach. But with China offering an alternative model of tech and development, the world is starting to look at both sides very carefully. This rivalry is more than about tech. It's about control, power, and shaping the future of global economies. The question is, how will countries outside the US and China play this game? Now let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. What does this all mean for the world? Well, the implications are massive. First, we're seeing a shift in the global tech race. The US is no longer the only leader in AI and semiconductor technology. China is now a real competitor, and this could drastically change the way tech companies, governments, and even consumers interact with technology in the coming years. Second, there's a geopolitical angle to all of this. The US and China are already in a tense standoff over issues like trade, military power, and influence in global markets. Now, with China closing the gap in the tech sector, this rivalry is intensifying. As China gains more control over critical technologies like AI, it could change the balance of power, not just between the US and China, but across the entire globe. For the West, this is a wake-up call. The US and its allies are going to have to rethink their approach to China. If China's tech sector continues to grow at this pace, it could challenge the US's dominance in the global economy in ways that few expected. Looking ahead, what's next for the US and China in this tech race? Well, both sides are doubling down on their investments. The US is looking for ways to tighten restrictions even further, but it's unclear if this will actually slow down China's momentum. China, on the other hand, is not slowing down anytime soon. With its huge investments in AI and its growing semiconductor industry, China is setting itself up to become a global powerhouse in tech. And with the backing of the Chinese government, they have the resources and the will to keep pushing forward. The next few years are going to be critical as China's AI and semiconductor industries continue to grow. The US and its allies are going to need to come up with new strategies to maintain their competitive edge. But one thing is clear, China is no longer the underdog in this race. They're in the game and they're playing to win. So, what does all of this mean for you and me? In simple terms, the global tech race is heating up, and China's unexpected advancements are shaking up the balance of power. The US wasn't prepared for this level of competition, and now they're playing catch-up. China's ability to outpace the US in key tech areas like AI and semiconductors is setting the stage for a new era of global competition. It's a competition that will have serious implications for everything from economic power to military influence, and this is just the beginning. As both nations continue to invest in and develop their technological infrastructure, the landscape of the future is being shaped right now. This isn't just another tech rivalry. This is a full-blown shift in global power. China's playing a dangerous game, and the US is left trying to catch up. So what's next? Will China dominate the AI race, or will the US find a way to reclaim its lead? I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think China's move is a game changer? Drop your comments below, and let's talk about where this is all headed. If you're following the race for global tech supremacy, make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.